Right to a channel of light fluid. Here we are with another May Wolf Jam entrant. Just a short little story this time, and I thought it'd be a nice way to round off the May Wolf Jam playlist. And I suppose someone has an idea, oh, you must do this one. Let me know, I'll check it out and see if I can fit in the schedule. So that's being said, this is by the Bjakery, April Showers. Let's get into it. The tremble of flesh I did not mean to postpone. Andres, don't kill me. No, that's far too dramatic. Hey there, I'm sorry. You know my partner dumped me. I'm trying so hard. Well, it's to the point. My grip on the steering wheel tightens as the gentle tap-tap at the window brings me back to what's happening. I look out the window and find the smiling dragon looking back. He steps back as I pop the door and climb out of my Jeep. Once I have my feet planted properly, he reaches out and claps a hand down on my shoulder, giving it a fond squeeze. Hey, Este Nino, it's about time you got this done, Peter. When it dies, I've had a little bit of rain. We had almost 4 inches of it last month. He pokes my chest a few times with the butt of his pen, then props the clipboard against his midsection and starts filling out a work order. Andres, we also had snow. Does it really matter that much? You haven't really felt like doing much of anything. I give an exasperated sigh before stepping over and slouching against the blue cinderblock wall of the shop. My ears turn back and my tail gives a few exaggerated shakes behind me. Anyways, April showers bring May flowers and all that. How long do you think it'll take for 'em up? The dragon finishes scratching at the paperwork on the clipboard before reaching out and plucking the car keys dangling from my finger. Oh, I'd say I can have it done in a couple of hours. A few other cars we're rotating tyres out for as well. Dents go pretty quick. I groan and nibble my bottom lip. Well, let me grab my bag and I'll go see if Luca's working. Won't be to bother him too long, but I can also kill some time at Cup of Joe. My palms press flush to the wall before I push forward and dramatically stumble over to my Jeep. I open the back door and grab my messenger bag from the footwell, then sling it over my shoulder and give Andres a quick wave. Just drop me a text when it's ready to go, Andres. I won't be wandering far. He flashes a broad grin for saluting with his clipboard. Sure thing, Peter. The dragon turns and makes his way towards the reception area of the shop. I sped off to walk along the south side of the building, before crossing the alleys and make my way towards Main Street. Tulips, violets, lilacs, lupines, lily of the valley. I rambled through the flowers that I'd been taking photos of over the course of the last week. Lucas said photography might help me take my mind off things. I believe his exact words were, as May approaches, we'll see a bounty of beauty unfold around us. Iris, dianthus, dark columbine, red columbine, creeping phlox, 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 fox. May flowers indeed. My gait slows as Matthew pops back into my head. I'd uprooted my life in Boston to follow him here to the Midwest. Heartland. A completely inaccurate name. What a joke. My claws pricked the leathery pads of my palms as I curled them into fists. Luckily, a baritone voice from behind catches me if I can really spiral into those thoughts. Oh, Peter, I'm sorry. Thought I'd catch you before you took off. He glances over his shoulder, looking back towards the auto shop. So it's probably better anyways. Dragon turns back, concerned smile on his face. How are you doing? I mean, really doing? A breath hitches in my chest. I think hard on how to answer. I'm leaning to a friend group that I know through my ex. Even though I kept my job when I moved, my interaction with others is severely limited because everything is remote now. To top this all off, Matthew still wants to be part of my life, even though he's disrupted it so completely. The range of emotions my face is displaying must give it away, as the dragon steps forward and spreads his arms. I'm kind of filthy and I probably smell, but if you want a hug, it's here for you. The tiny of smiles finds me. I step closer, curling tight around his broad frame. Thanks, Andres. Ja, varapassa. No te preocupes. I have no idea what you just said, but thank you. Or, I'm sorry. He laughs loudly, thumping a hand against my back for gripping my shoulders with both hands and pulling me back to look me in the eye. You have such a good kit. Oh, you said you're going to see Luca, see? If he's working, it's figured I'd pop into Driftless Stars to check before setting down the coffee shop to draw. Well, tell him I say hello, por favor. There's a bashful grin as he asks this. Absolutely will. You know, you should just ask him out. I'm fairly certain he's just as smitten with you as you are with him. Yeah, perhaps. Yes, your tires aren't going to get changed on their own. We should get together soon. Rust after a decent happy hour. Well, I'm here for you, Peter, alright? I lean and give the dragon another hug. Thank you, Anders. Let's do that. After waving the dragon off, I turn and make my way out onto Main. Driftless Stars is just on the opposite side of the street, so I give a glance both ways before briskly jaywalking across and popping into the store. Home goods, plants, things that smell nice. I absolutely adore this store. It embodies the twee sense of warmth and welcome I try to keep at home. Luca? Looking around, it seems no one's in the store at the moment. I notice a tinted cardboard sign on the counter. Playing with plants in the basement. Be right back, Luca. I smile. I feel I'll get to catch up with the manatee for I have to settle in for the long haul at Cover Joe. There's a candle burning near the register that smells amazing. Sweet, like the smoke of a pipe, but not as cloying. I close my eyes and inhale deeply, letting myself get lost in the scent. It's tobacco. I startle and spin around as a soft voice speaks up from behind me. Jesus, Luca, didn't even you come up from the basement? I'm so sorry, Peter. I didn't realise. You just really looked like you enjoyed the candle. I inhale sharply through my nose, and press to my chest for I laugh and shake my head. It's all right. You just really surprised me. So, sorry. We stand there awkwardly for a moment before he finally breaks the silence. What brings you in, Peter? Oh, I'm getting my tyres swapped over at Tandem. It's going to take a few hours. Figured I would check to see if you were working before popping into Cover Joe. Ah, did... He trails off while vastly speaking up again. Did you see Andres? Of course. He's the one who finally bullied me out of bed. Leaning forward from the counter, I whispered to the manatee in my best sultry voice. He says, hello. Really? Oh, goodness. Luca has his habit of wringing his hands together when flustered. The way he's doing it now, you'd think I'd brought more than just a simple hello. Sorry, I didn't mean to set you off. He does say hello, though. The manatee takes a deep breath, composing himself. Maybe I'll stop over and see him when I'm wrapped up here. I could bring him a coffee or a snack. Luca, I think that you're the only snack he wants. I told him earlier, but I'll tell you too. Just talk to each other. There's a grunt before he crosses his arms. Oh, fine. Oh, have you been taking any photos like I suggested? I bob my head yes, and slip my phone from my pocket as he sidles up next to me. I press my forefinger to the screen to unlock it, and gasp as Ruffer opens up. But, Peter! He laughs, nudging my ribs with his elbow. I'll take that as a good sign. I really hope you're not dwelling on Matthew much longer. It's been rough. But honestly, I need to move on, Luca. I don't know if I'm ready to jump into anything too serious yet, but I can always see what's out there. As far as the app goes, honestly, I have no idea how to meet other queer folk around the area. I'm just glad that you and Andres have been such good friends. You said you were heading to Cover Joe, right? That was the plan. Why? A broad smile crosses his face. Well, I was in there before work this morning. There's a new barista, handsome wolf fellow. I'm pretty sure he's gay. I start to casually flick through the photos I've been taking over the past few days. Oh, how appropriate. Lupines. He points at the screen, laughing. I think that outside the iris and columbines, the lupines have been my favourite. They are very pretty. I hand my phone to the manatee and reach into my messenger bag, pulling free my sketchbook and thumbing it open. I haven't got much done yet. The photos are pretty fantastic for studies. I love how soft your drawings are, Peter. I sling an arm around Luca's shoulders and give a side hug. Thanks. Honestly, I've been reminded of a series of prints I made at university. It combined photography and intaglio to juxtapose plants to the male form. There are a lot of dicks. He laughs, then pushes me away. Peter! I return the sketchbook to my bag and reclaim my phone. I should probably get off your hair. Honestly, some coffee sounds nice. But first... I point to the candle and grin. Why can't I find that guy? Oh! The manatee scurries behind the counter and leans down, pulling a candle from a box on the floor. I hadn't finished putting them out. I got distracted with repotting some monstera. He rings up the candle and looks over at me. Bag? Nah, I'll just toss it in here. That'll be $22.47 with tax. If you bring back the container, though, you can get it refilled for $15. We actually make these in-house. Thanks, Luca. I'm sure I will. I really like how this smells. We walk to the door together, then give one another a hug before I step outside. I shade my eyes briefly, growing accustomed to the light before turning right and starting down towards the end of the block and entering Cuppa Joe. The rich smells of coffee and baked sweets embrace me as I enter the shop. I can't help but smile. I step towards the counter, looking over the chalkboard to see if there are any new seasonal drinks. Given May recently started, there's a chance that there will be. There's something called an iris. Looks like a blackberry vanilla latte. That sounds tasty enough, and May flowers. This has seemed like a theme. Hey there, can I get a... My voice falters as I turn to meet the gaze of the barista at the register. It's the wolf that Luca mentioned. The very handsome, broad-shouldered wolf, who just happens to be dressed well and has the cutest fucking underbite I've ever seen. After a very long pause, the wolf looking increasingly more flustered, he finally speaks. Yes? Sorry, can I get an iris? Sure. There's a warm smile as he taps at the register a moment. For here or to go? Oh, here. Can I get a double shot, short pull? You got it, boss. That'll be $5.87. I fish my wallet from the messenger bag, free my credit card and insert it into the card reader sitting on the counter. One tip and sloppy signature later, everything's returned to where it belongs. The wolf glances at the screen, then looks up and winks. Your drink will be ready in just a moment, Peter. The sofa at the front window is open, so I go ahead and settle in. As I'm putting my sketchbook in my messenger bag, I glance over at the wolf. He's looking directly at me. I give an awkward smile, then manage to dump the contents of my pencil case all over the floor. Fuck. Sliding to the edge of the sofa, I lean down and begin to collect pencils and pastels from the floor. A pile forms on the coffee table as I hunt down strays, then the sound of a throat being cleared causes me to look up. One iris. He sets the saucer and mug gently on the coffee table, then glances at the art supplies strewn across the surface. What are you working on? Oh, well... I dip my head, then pick up the sketchbook and flip it open, not looking his way as I page through to my latest sketches. Flowers? A friend suggested I study them to help keep my mind occupied. Oh, everything all right? He takes a seat on the sofa next to me, causing me to slide closer, which in turn causes me to look up at him. We lock eyes, for I'm able to stammer. Well, I'm pretty freshly single. This has been an attempt to keep my mind off him. I'm sorry to hear that. His body shifts and his knee meets mine as he reaches over to give it a pat. I clear my throat, causing him to draw his hand back. There's panic where I look at my sketchbook and blurt out, Did you know the white fuzzy part of the dandelion is called a pappus? He laughs and turns his attention once again to my drawings. I didn't. We just called them puffballs growing up. We did too. I give a lopsided smile and flip the page. He reaches over, pointing at one of the drawings. What are those? They're really interesting. I glance down, then laugh. Oh, well, those are lupines. Oh, like me. His tail thumped against the sofa and I grinned like an absolute idiot. Indeed, they're actually one of my favourites. Really? Well then, I don't suppose it's one of your favourites. I might be able to treat you to a cocktail sometime. My eyes lock with his once again. I think I'd like that. He snags a pencil from the table and scribbles next to the sketch of the lupines. 515-555-2832, Harvo. I should really go back to work, but send a text. I'm generally free most evenings. I work opening shifts here. Sounds good, Harvo. I glance back at his signature to make sure I have his name right. He winks one more time before he stands and wanders back towards the counter, busting a couple of tables along the way. I shift, lean to the side so I can get my phone from my pocket, then press my finger to the screen to unlock it. The icon for Ruffer is there on my home screen. I give it a long look before pressing my finger to it for a long hold, then dragging it to the trash can icon. A moment later I have Harvo added to my contacts and shoot Luca a quick message. You're right, he is gay. He also gave me his number and asked me to get a drink sometime. I set my phone on the coffee table, then pick up the oversized mug with both hands, huffing at the beverage before closing my eyes and taking a long drink. It's sweet, not heavily relying on either the vanilla or the blackberry, as cool to the perfect temperature because of the prior conversation. My phone buzzes, then dances on the coffee table. The message bubble simply says, I told you. I take another sip and smile to myself. Mayflowers indeed. Actually, we used to call those things dandelion clocks when I was young in a different country from where I am now. Been an interesting thread for the comments. What did you call those white fluffy things on dandelions? And if you're wondering, the idea was you blow it and see and count 1, 2, 3. Tells you what time it is. Not very accurate, I have to say, but it's a fun thing to do when you're that young anyway. Anyway, that was April Showers, another May Wolf Jam, and I really suggest you should go and check out the May Wolf Jam listing on itch.io yourselves. I can't put a link because YouTube things, but go and look it up and definitely check out what's there and check out some of the creators and what other things they might be doing. So there's definitely some good things in there, and it's worth seeing what else is going on with the people making these VNs and supports them as well, which is always a good thing to do. Speaking of supporting, I always want to thank my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon with my even more tenuous segues to get to this section. And as always, a big thanks to my top patrons: Kartek, Kobus Visser, Lexi Bucciarati, Bastian, Brian Hall, Tiger Cub, Alec Orval, Anubis Silverwind, Dissonance, Grizz, Spiderling, Kopi, Cindy Dragowolf, Evan King, Exact, Aaron Fox, Mohammed Al-Zamel, Andy Peng, Smuto, Omar, Nova Starburn, Harvest Mouse Productions, and Bjakery, who is responsible for this little thing you've been watching. But yeah, go and check out all these VNs and the creators on itch.io. You'll thank me if I do that. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, which will be more Nevin, and we'll get to meet the kings this time. Bye for now.